Hello, hello. My name is Nicole Thomas, and today I'm going to teach you how to attach a handle to your mug. So let's jump right into it. First thing I have is my mug in my hand, and I'm thinking a little bit about where I'm going to attach that handle. So I have other videos on how to make a mug on the pottery wheel and on how to pull a handle. So I've followed the instructions in both of those videos, and that has led me up to this point in time. So real quick, I look at the body of my form. I'm just giving a visual once over, and I'm going to identify that I want to attach my handle right here and right here. So almost like you would apply sunscreen or apply primer before you do your makeup. I just want to introduce a little bit of moisture to these points where I'll be attaching the handle. And then I'm going to take just a simple hand towel. I'm going to give it a little spin, and then I'm going to bring it into a nest, just like this. Now I know my nest is going to be the perfect place for me to let my mug sit, and this ensures that my mug doesn't go rolling away or doesn't pick up an indentation from the table. So while my piece is relaxing right here, I have already used the side of my metal rib to make a few marks on where I want to cut this piece, and I know that it's going to fit really nicely just based on how I've kind of made those cut marks and measured them against my mug. So I place my handle down, I place the mug down. Normally I use an X-Acto knife, but because the metal potter's rib comes in the basic pottery kits, I wanted to use this for today's demonstration. So if you're interested in tools, I have an Amazon storefront, and a basic getting started pottery toolkit is on one of my idea lists, and this tool is inside of that kit. So I use the edge of my metal rib because I want something that is going to slice into the clay just like that instead of pushing into the clay. Let me give you a real quick example. If I was to take my needle tool and I was to do the same cut mark, I end up kind of like squishing the clay. I get a little bit of this unevenness. Sometimes you can pick up a little bit of an angle with your cut, and that is not what we want today. We want a really hard, smooth, even cut so that we have a fit that is really nice on our mug. So as I'm just kind of giving this a visual once over, I use my needle tool to make a few marks about where I'm gonna wanna be scoring. This is important because after you've attached your piece, you don't want to have leftover score marks that you have to go back and clean up. I mean, you can go back and clean them up if you want to. Obviously you will, but the idea is to do less to begin with so that you don't have to go back and clean up those messes. So I put a little bit of slip on this surface right here, and I'm going to come in with the tip of my needle tool and give a little score. Now I'm going to repeat the same motion on the bottom, giving that a little score, and then one more dip in the water bucket, and we're going to let this piece relax on our little towel nest right here. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my handle, but I like to take it in my hand. I give a tiny dip of just the top, a little dip of the bottom, and now I'm coming back for the same slipping and scoring method. This water bucket is serving as my slip, and I am scoring with my Mud Tools Mud Shark. This is also one of my favorite pottery tools, and it's available in a bundle on one of my Amazon storefronts. So I have my handle just like this, one little extra tiny dip, and now I'm going to take it onto my mug using 2 fingers on the inside. I lay it into place, and then I'm going to do a firm push and wiggle, and I don't do that on the bottom just yet. I get a firm push and wiggle on the top, and then I'm going to come back in with a baby coil. So check this out. This is just like my regular coil, only it's smaller, so I call it a baby coil. I like to use baby coils to fill in places or anywhere where a regular coil would be a little bit too big, but you're still looking for a bit more volume. So we take the baby coil, I start here, and I give a little tap. I am tapping it giving a firm press all the way around. And then I'm going to come in and get a nice clean cut on that, making sure it has come 360 degrees around the base of the handle. And now I'm going to come in and just start to blend it out. Now I don't dip my finger in water to blend. I want to blend with a dry fingertip because I really want to smooth this material in place instead of just rubbing water on the surface. So something like right in there, I want to come back in and work to create a seamless attachment point. So this is going to take some attention to detail, probably the longest step in this whole process, but it will absolutely be worth it. And I know I'm going to stick with it. So all the way around, rotating between using my pointer finger and using my thumb. Those are the two fingers that I find to just be the most convenient to get into these precarious little angles. Working all the way around. And the goal at the end is this handle is going to feel like a tree branch or a vine. It's just gonna have this very natural feel, like it organically grew from here and like it was always supposed to be there. I saw one little spot where I wanted a little bit more clay, so I went ahead and just tapped like a little dot of clay in there and I went to blend it out. Now this looks pretty good. Sometimes I like to use a sponge and kind of give a little more. Now, especially because this is a handle, you know people are going to be handling it. So little dips and dots or small imperfections will be felt. It's worth it to take your time at this step to smooth it out, especially because once your handle starts drying, it is not something you want to touch on your piece. So now that I've attached the handle on the top, I'm gonna come and attach it to the bottom, but there's something a little bit different that I'm gonna do first. I get my bucket of water, I hold my mug in my hand, and I'm gonna give this one smooth, even pull and blend everywhere before I attach the bottom of the handle. So my first move is I come in with the under part of my hand. I just want to smooth the under part of the attachment. Then I'm going to come over and give one more pull, just like I do during the step where I pull the handle from a coil. I give a nice little pull, making sure everything looks seamless and organic. I come back down, I give a little push right there. This is where I close one eye and I make sure that handle is straight. Handles sometimes tend to go this way or they tend to go that way. I notice if I'm attaching handles that are too wet, they start to move and they end up drying in a way that is uneven. So this is looking really nice and smooth. What I'm going to do at this point is I take either side of my pointer finger, depending on the angle that I'm at. Normally I would work like this if I wasn't filming, but today I'm filming, so I'm going to work like this and just giving a little pressure and smoothing down at that attachment point. Sometimes I will come back with the sponge and give a kind of left to right smooth. I want to get under that handle and all around. And there you have it. This is how I attach a handle to my mug. If you stopped by today, thank you so much for being here. And if you have a question about this process, feel free to comment a question below and I will comment back with an answer. Thanks for being here.